Hello and welcome to Corgi Town, USA. I am Candy. Next to me is Chuckles.
And I am Catherine. And thrown out of the studio is Calabria and Digby.
They're loud.
They're loud.
But we also have the Corgi committee members here, Tito and Mortimer Barnabas.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we have lost our dear sweet booger. So we don't have the little lady of the house anymore.
No, we don't.
But she's here in spirit. So
She
she's
is
an
here in spirit.
angel. But if you're new here, hi, welcome. We have a new episode every day or every week
Every
of
week.
pet
Yep.
parent lifestyle, pet parent
Parent.
lifestyle. And this is season 7. So we have a new studio set up. We have new equipment. So thanks for being patient with us as we test out all the new goodies that we have and just trying to improve the experience here for you. And if you've been with us the previous 6 seasons, thank you. We can't do it without you.
We cannot do it without you. Yeah, 6 seasons. Wow, this is season 7. That's pretty amazing.
I know.
I know.
Can't believe it. Time flies.
Time flies.
Well, we almost always have a guest. And if you've been to our show before, hopefully I will reference the previous episode we did down in the description box of this video and on the audios as well. But we had Gellyahnah Akhen before, and she is a soul contract practitioner. She specializes in human soul contracts.
She does.
But we wanted to talk about animal soul contracts because we're all big pet people here.
Yes.
And so we thought that she might be able to educate us a little bit. And she's here with us. Gellyahnah, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I love being on with you ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. I feel like I'm a hot mess today, like
You're
losing
not a hot
boogers,
mess,
setting
yeah.
up the studio. So appreciate your patience so much.
Yep. Yep. Well, we've all known each other for a really long time, and that's what's really nice about starting the season with somebody that you know and absolutely love.
Thank God for friends.
Thank God for friends is bottom line here. So thank you, Gellyahnah.
Oh, my pleasure. Seriously, my pleasure.
Well, we appreciate you, and we're both just tickled to death about what you do.
Yeah.
And for those listening, we will drop some links down in the description box as well, how you can follow Gellyahnah. You should.
Yes.
She also does like some free workshops and things about soul contracts. So if this subject makes you curious, and I don't know how it couldn't, we highly recommend that you follow her and listen to her content and maybe consider doing a soul contract reading.
Yeah.
So Gellyahnah, I want to ask you, can you kind of explain to us, if we're new to this, kind of what to expect of what a soul contract reading is?
Absolutely. That's a great place to start. So essentially, what a soul contract is in general, it is a divine promise that your soul makes to your higher self, to the creator, to your guides before you reincarnate into any given lifetime. And essentially, within the soul contract, within this promise, is a set of experiences that the soul is going to have. Meaning, like, really, what is the purpose for this reincarnation, right? Because there's always a purpose. The souls are always looking to grow. And a big part of the purpose is rebalancing our karma. This is one of the main reasons that certain souls will reincarnate, is because they want to grow and they want to heal. And the fastest way to do that is by experiencing a human life. So when I'm doing a soul contract reading, what I'm doing is I'm taking somebody's birth name, the way it's written on their birth certificate, and I am converting it into sound frequencies that essentially tell, like, by doing this coding, it tells me the karma that somebody came in with, their unique talents, their goals, and ultimately what is their overarching purpose for this entire lifetime.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's a lot. I've had mine done with Gellyahnah, and it's interesting because sometimes we know what our soul was, and in my case, I said, so this was supposed to happen, huh? And that is, the loss of my husband, and that wasn't just a thing. It was really part of my soul contract, and it brings great comfort to know that out of that came a purpose, and I am living my purpose. So even if it's just that, knowing that there's a reason for everything, and there is that silver lining that I like to talk about as well.
Yeah.
I got that from Gellyahnah.
Yeah. That's the very heartfelt education you
Yes.
got when you did that.
Yeah.
And I would like to ask this question. I'm sure you get this a lot, Gellyahnah. I would love to know part of I would imagine, question that you would get with some of maybe the skeptics is, we didn't decide to be here when we were here. It's all happenstance, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of people that believe that. I think a big question would be, why would I choose to suffer? Why would I want to be born of these parents that maybe abuse me or neglect me? Why would I want to get into these relationships with others that are painful and hard to bear and bounce back from? I imagine you get that question a lot, and if so, how you would answer that for us.
I do. Yeah, that's actually, you asked me quite a few questions there in that one question. So let's
True
let's
candy
break it
fashion.
down. Yeah, no, but I do get those questions a lot. And so first off, what I'll say is, so suffering is a human concept. Okay, the souls are choosing to reincarnate because they have a purpose and they have a mission. And just because the soul plans something, it doesn't mean the human will do that. So what I found in however many years I've been doing this now, but the um, it, the soul plans and the human has free will. So oftentimes when we're going against our actual purpose here, this is when quote unquote suffering happens. And that's pain, yeah, because life's trying to wake you up and trying to get you back on track. So the soul doesn't choose suffering. I just want to make that clear. Okay. Now, sometimes a soul will choose to have certain experiences that don't feel so good, but when we have when we are living in our human life and where we're deeply connected to source, to the creator, to our higher selves, even the most painful situations aren't suffering. So the people that are suffering are the people that aren't connected. They've completely lost their connection and they're like here on earth in the blind stumbling around. So of course that doesn't feel comfortable.
No.
Okay, so that was the first thing you asked me. Now, the next question is, well, what about, when you're born to abusive parents, like you're a kid, you're not choosing very much at that point yet, right? So souls will choose parents that are going to help them um excuse me, they're going to help them accomplish their purpose here. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few examples what I mean by that. There was a story recently that I saw. I don't know, it was like on Instagram or something along those lines, and there was this man. I don't remember his name. It may have been something Kennedy because I was like, Kennedy, grabbed my attention. So, but I don't think he's related to the Kennedys. In any case, he started a YouTube channel of helping young men with things that their fathers should help them with, right? So like how to tie a tie, how to shave, like these things that your father would normally teach you. Now, the story goes that his own father left him when he was just a baby or something, right? I mean, basically he grew up without a father figure. And because of that experience, he had this calling to create this YouTube channel to help other boys, young men who don't have a father figure. So this is what I say when I say the soul chooses the parents that are going to activate its mission. So if you're coming in here and your mission is to help young men with, who don't have a father, and you're born into a family where you have this amazing father who, like nurtures you, like your purpose may never get activated. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely.
That's a great example.
So Abraham Hicks calls that contrast.
Yeah.
What you do want, what you don't want. So what that tells me is, quote unquote, suffering is subjective.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't had the experience to have the contrast, you wouldn't be able to educate, support others. Am I picking that up correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we of course we have contracts. I mean, we come here with contracts with ourselves and contracts with others. And really, it's your purpose, right? It's your divine promise. So, not every soul needs nurturing, loving parents, right? I mean, yes,
Right.
I'm sure every human wants that, but remember, the soul has a different purpose. Now, the whole thing with abusive parents, that's yet another category, because here's where free will kicks in. Those parents maybe weren't supposed to be abusive. Maybe they were supposed to be harsh and teach the child discipline, but because of their free will, they took it too far.
Right.
So this
Wow.
is where free will comes in. And it's so important to know that not everything that happens in life is a soul contract. That's actually a big misconception. A lot of things that happen in life is somebody going off their path. Okay. We could, not to get political, but let's use Charlie Kirk, for example, just the soul to soul connection there. Charlie's soul had a purpose. He was taken off his mission at a very young age. And I had many people come at me and say, well, he was doing this, he was doing that, and I'm like, he was only like 30, 31. Like, you have no idea what he could have evolved into. Like, we
Right.
don't know, right? And so, personally, I don't think that was meant to happen. I see that was somebody else's free will going off their path, right?
Okay.
So this is where not everything in life
Yeah.
is a soul contract.
Okay. So let's bring it around to our fur babies, and I'm going to ask the first question: do they have souls?
They do have souls, but it's a little bit different than a human soul. And
Okay.
again, this is not necessarily my expertise, but the way that I understand it, there's like a collective soul that they all sort of belong to. So
Aw.
they're connected. Like the animals, they're all like, we are also connected to each other, but they're connected in a different way.
Yeah.
Like a hive mind?
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Oh,
That's
that
why they're
makes
so perfect. We're
yeah.
all part of the
That's
same
there's
Well, their
yeah.
souls, I'll tell you this, their souls have no ego. Well, and I guess no souls have ego, but that's the difference between animals and humans, is they don't have ego. That's like one of the biggest differences.
That explains a
Mm.
lot.
Yeah, that does explain a lot. I mean, we could just go on and on about how they don't have an ego and how, they still love despite what humans do to them and all that stuff
Unconditionally, yeah.
unconditionally. They are the epitome of unconditional love. So, how does knowing my soul contract help me understand my fur babies more, or the role that they play in my life more? How does how does me knowing, working with Gelly, I now know my soul contract. Now, how does that help me, as I understand, as a human, as a wife, as a mother? How does that help me with my pets?
Well, I tell you, with a lot of my clients, a lot of them will have this one particular frequency that tells me that they love pets, and this is the 8 frequency. So, I can tell you, I've got both of your charts pulled up, and
Uh-oh.
both of you have a 17-8 frequency, right? The 8's in there, and you both have it in the same placement. You both have it in your spiritual talents.
Shocking.
Shocking, yes.
Okay. So before we get to the fur babies, I just want to tell you two, this tells me that you two have a best friend connection,
Yes.
because
She
you
was
have,
just
yeah.
the maid of honor at my wedding,
Oh,
11 months ago, almost 12.
I love that. I love that. So, right. I mean, no surprise there, but it was actually really cool for me to see when I pulled your charts up. That's why I was like, oh, I need to tell them this, but it's that
Aw.
same frequency, and it's got that 8 in there. And so the 8s, they love animals. They just have a really easy time connecting to the purity of their souls, their nature, right? It's just it's easier for the 8s. And so oftentimes my clients, they come to me and they have 8s, and and they're lost in life. They don't know what to do. And I start asking them, okay, well, what's your connection to animals? And they're like, oh my gosh, I love animals. If I could rescue animals all day long, that's all I would do, da da da. And I'm just like, well, why don't you do that? And they're like, oh, well, that's just silly, like I can't do that, or whatever. People have all these excuses. And so
That sounds like
oftentimes,
ego talking.
Yeah.
Of course it's ego talking. But the question Catherine asked was understanding my soul contract. How does it help me? And a lot of times what I tell them, I'm like, look, I don't have innate. Okay. I have nothing against animals, but like I don't have a natural desire to go save the puppies. I don't. Like I have a natural desire to wake up the humans, right?
Yeah.
So I have a different pull. And I tell people,
And we need both in this world.
we
Yeah.
do. We all
Mhm.
have a job. So if you're being pulled to help the animals, that's part of your quote unquote job here. Because if you don't do it, who's going to do it? I'm not going to do it because I don't have a natural pull towards it. So oftentimes it's like me giving them permission to do what they love to do. I shouldn't have to give them permission, but I'm sort of saying that's how it plays out, right? But
Right.
if you're
You're the
wanting to help the
authority
animals,
in
yeah,
that instance.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah. But so that's one way.
Gosh, that's such a powerful thing to create perspective that these animal souls don't have ego, just like you're talking about people judging themselves for that can't be my mission because we live under these constructs in
Right.
society. And then there goes the ego, right? The ego says, you can't do that because that's not the way it's done. But that also gives me some perspective when it comes to dog training
Yep.
because I have a lot of clients that come and say, well, the dog does this because of this. And I'm like, not really. That's your understanding. The dog does
Yeah.
not look at it that way. And I have a lot of conversations like that. I'm like, listen, they don't generalize. They're emotional animals, but they don't generalize the way we are. They didn't chew your shoes because they're mad at you. They chewed your shoes because they were having an emotional experience and that soothed them. And there were events that led to that. But that is such a great thing. And Gellyahnah, I'm totally going to reference that in some of my training classes. I have a
Yep.
friend that does soul contracts, and she explained to me that those souls do not have ego. So if you look at it that way, it helps give perspective on how to approach your pet.
Absolutely. The other thing that it I so during our break, I got back one of my rescues, and I don't even know if she had an 8 or if she should have had an 8 in her in her
The
soul
human,
contract. Pardon?
the human.
The human.
Yeah.
If the human had an 8. She was moving, had a new boyfriend, was giving up the dog because they couldn't bring the dog with them. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That gives me a different perspective of when you have an animal and you meet someone that you think is your soulmate or you absolutely love or whatever, and they don't take quite as well to the animal. I think knowing that you're the one who has a soul connection to the animal, your mate doesn't, and working at it from that angle rather than working at it from the angle of it's the dog or me. Because I personally would pick the dog, but that's my phonics.
And by the way, the dog or me, GTFO, if you ask me. That's not going to fly here, not in this household.
Because of what Gellyahnah said. So, or what? How is our soul connected to our animal's soul? And do our animals come back to us?
Yeah, that is a great question. So, yeah, our pets can actually be our soulmates. They could be part of our soulmate group. Okay. And so let's define soulmates. Soulmates are souls that are here to help you through the journey in this lifetime and other lifetimes, past lifetimes, future lifetimes. We all have many soulmates, and our pets can definitely be our soulmates. I'm not saying your pet is your like romantic divine soulmate, just to clarify, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying they can be part of your family. And so, is it possible that you keep reincarnating with the same soul pet? Yeah, absolutely. Can the same soul pet, pet soul come back to you in the same lifetime? Absolutely. Right. We hear stories of this in different ways, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the same animal. Like, meaning, like, if it was a dog, doesn't mean it's going to be a dog. Maybe it was a horse, then a dog, a horse. I mean, it just, but they'll find you. If they're
Right.
meant for you, they'll find you, and you'll find them.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that. And that's there's a Dog's Life, the movie where the
Dog's
dog
Life.
keeps coming back to him over and over again. And some of our audience love that movie, and some of our audience cannot stand that movie because the dog finds him again, but he loses it over and over again as
Yeah.
well. And that's really hard for pet lovers
It
to
is.
see that because we already have to experience it. Well, Gellyahnah, I would love to do. Can you give us a little sample of the soul contract reading? Because you have some on Kat and myself, and I think it would help everyone listening to kind of get a taste of sort of what to expect with soul. Are you okay with doing that?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We can easily do that. So I've got both of your charts pulled up, so for instance, so Catherine, with you, what was so unique about your chart is you have so many of this 7 frequency in your chart. You have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have six sevens. That's a lot. And the 7 frequency, it's all about healing the heart.
Yep.
So this tells me that you're such a heart healer. You're absolutely here to help people heal, and you're such a connector. The 7s are natural connectors. So this could mean, okay, networking, connecting people, but this could also mean like you help people connect the dots. So people come to you and you help them. Okay, have you thought of it this way? Have you looked at it from that angle? Have you talked to this person? Like, you're very good at connecting the dots, and you're extremely magnetic, where like people will just open up to you and start telling you their life story to the point where they're like, I don't even know why I'm telling you this.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, I want to take that one step further. And Eric and I foster now dogs and cats. So we foster for a couple of different rescues here. And it's very interesting. People will say to me, well, when you get them in, don't you want to keep them forever? And I leave each of them, I whisper as I give them to their right and perfect parents, I whisper in their ear, thank you so much for letting me take care of you. You are always welcome back here, but now you have your forever family. And as I hand them, I can tell, and unfortunately, I don't have a say in it, but I can tell when the connection is not made. And we call them boomerangs, but I've had a couple of boomerangs. The one that I spoke about earlier, he was a boomerang. I had him as a puppy with his mama. And then a year later, I had him again. And I could tell as I handed him off a year ago that this was not his right and perfect forever home.
Strong intuition.
Strong intuition. And that's that connector thing. And so it makes a lot of sense. And it extends into my work with animals. So thank you, Gelly.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
these are the things that you learn and understand.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, well, also that, but in addition to that, you carry this 5-5 frequency, and the keyword there is truth. So you're actually highly intuitive, and you'll just know the truth
Yep.
of any given situation as long as you trust your intuition, which you do. So yeah,
Yep.
there's that also in your chart.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It gives you a better understanding. And as I said, I just jump back to that. If you become a couple and don't harp on the other partners as long as they're not giving you a, me or the dog scenario, don't harp on them. Get that soul chart done and understand so everybody can be in that right and perfect spot for them in the
Yeah,
relationship.
call Gellyahnah.
Call Gellyahnah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, guys, don't call me, but go to my Instagram.
Yes, well,
That's what we do now.
That's what we do now.
That's the modern call.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We won't put your phone number anywhere.
No.
Don't worry.
Okay, just making sure.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah, and then Candy, with you, with your chart, you have very different frequencies in your main chart. You're actually a very powerful teacher. So you are here to share your soul's wisdom, and that's a big theme in your life. Share your soul's wisdom. So our soul's wisdom could mean a number of different things. Like, my soul's wisdom is maybe different than your soul's wisdom because our souls have traveled, different lifetimes and have picked up different things. But I see that one of the things we're here to work through, one of the experiences, is the knowing that you're worthy of being heard and being seen. And so it's important for you to share
Yes.
what you just deeply and intuitively know.
Like this podcast.
Yeah. Hey, I'm on the right track, sounds like.
That's right.
Right, but also you're teaching about pets, right? Like you intuitively know things, like you were saying with the dog training. Like, I mean, I don't know how you know that. Maybe you studied it, but maybe you just intuitively know animals. I'm saying I don't know. You would know better.
Yeah,
That's fascinating.
it is. And it gives you again a clearer idea of who you are and who you are in relation to others. And I think just knowing that might help heal the world, you know? Okay, I get it. I adore my animal and you don't, but you're not mean to my fur baby. So, okay, I can step back and you don't have to cuddle with them and all those other things.
Well, and I feel like things like this, on that same vein, can help make you a better human.
Yes.
A hue as in the understood you, the royal we. Better human in that it gives you more compassion. With understanding comes compassion. And I'm huge on perspective. I think perspective is everything.
Yep.
And I think when you learn, as Gellyahnah, you were saying, you're like, my purpose is not to save animals. Cat has a purpose to save animals. And I think that when you think about that, the world needs all of this contrast of people
Yep.
focusing here, focusing there. You all have a different journey. And I think if we're to apply that and having that knowledge of this is the tapestry of our lives, that all these different souls have different journeys, different purposes, and they may be off track and do things that maybe hurt others, but it helps us to be less judgmental, or it does me to think that's not their journey. They're misunderstanding something. They're off track versus trying to judge them because they're different or they're not like me.
Right. That's wonderful.
That's what our pets teach us.
Yeah.
Our pets teach us to love unconditionally and with compassion. And that's back to that ego. I'm still kind of what is the mind-blowing moment
Right.
with
Yeah, that
Gellyahnah of they
aha
don't
moment.
have egos. Wow, that just all the stars like burst out of my brain when you said that. I'm like, that just explains so much,
Yeah.
makes so much sense. And that ego is a very human, very earthly thing that gets installed in us with these constructs
Yep.
of how we're supposed to live. And different cultures have things forced upon them of this is what it is to be right, to be just, to be good, to insert your adjective of choice here. But once you strip all that away as like human soul
Yeah.
and different purposes and the karmic energy and the different kind of things that's in your soul contract, I feel like that can make us better humans understanding this
Yeah,
for that
absolutely.
reason.
Mm-hmm.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Gellyahnah, any last thoughts about your soul contract and perhaps your pet's soul contract and understanding the world around you?
What would you like Corgi Nation to know?
Yes.
Well, I think, one of the most important things to know for, people who love their pets so dearly is that you most likely do have a deep soul bond and it's infinite. So I know, Kat, at the beginning, I think you said, we're going to outlive our pets, right? So I think it's really important to know that they're always with us.
Yeah.
Whether it's in spirit or whether they come back to us or, when we go, back to the ethers, like there's always a reconnection point. And oftentimes we do, like they do journey with us. They journey with us during
They do.
multiple lifetimes. So that bond is very, very real.
Yep. We think we know, but it's the truth.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna help me in my grief. I'm not crying, you're crying.
Oh.
Exactly.
Thank you, Gellyahnah. Appreciate it so much. And for those that are listening, we will drop some links into the description box on how to get a hold of Gellyahnah, not call, but message on Instagram or other. Would you mind telling our audience, those that are listening, how to get a hold of you and contact you for their soul contract reading?
Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram is best just because it has literally all of my information and all my contact or
Perfect.
content. But my username is soul_contracts_practitioner. And the link in my bio will give you all the details that you need to know.
Perfect.
Terrific. That's wonderful. And yeah, it's something that, will help everyone and, and will help you understand your pet or maybe your relationship or whatever, because it's important to know these things. So
Yeah.
thank you, Gellyahnah. It's always wonderful to see
Yeah.
you.
Thanks for your
My
time
pleasure.
today.
My pleasure, truly.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Not yet, Kat. We
Oh,
hope you
not
enjoyed this episode. I am Candy. This is Kat. Right here next to me is Chuckles. Every week we have a new episode for all of you dog moms and dads, cat moms and dads, pet parent lifestyle. We
Yep.
talk about all kinds of things, training, grooming, health of your pet. We have veterinarians on the show. We do episodes on grief. We feel like things like this, like soul contracts, kind of help us heal, help us understand our lives with our pets and
Yes.
ourselves, which is very valuable. So
Absolutely.
if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe and join us. We're here for you every Thursday, all things Corgi and pet parent lifestyle.
Bye.